Alexander Marinoff. You want to go ahead and sit up? In the U.S., Alex is often asked if he's Russian, perhaps because his last name is Marinoff. Hopefully I'm pronouncing it right.
Yeah.
He is also asked why Bulgarian writing looks like Russian writing. Today you will find out why, as he gives in his speech the story behind the Cyrillic alphabet. Alex.
Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I've lived in the States for about 9 years, and every time I introduce myself as Alex Marinoff, people go, "Is this Russian?" As if it's something bad. But either way, I'm always surprised at people's proclivity to think that not only my last name is Russian, but also they ask me if they speak Russian in Bulgaria. So I looked up a few things in Wikipedia, and here's the story I'm super excited to share with you. It turns out Russian alphabet is actually adopted from Bulgaria about 300 years later, after it was introduced there. But why? So this is what I'm going to share with you. It's a combination of things and historical events that actually brought to the introduction of the Cyrillic alphabet. So what we're going to learn today in this crash course on Cyrillic is, first of all, why was it invented? Secondly, who invented it? Why create another alphabet if you already have Greek and Latin? And then third, who's using it today and where? What's the geography? So we're going to go back in history, back to the 4th century, and I'm going to set up the context with the Roman Empire, and I'll tell you why this is important. So back in the days, you have the Roman Empire, and it stretches huge stretch from the east to west, and it covers all the way from England way past the Middle East. Bulgaria is over here. The two different colors are, this is the Western Empire, and this is the Eastern, and the Western Empire is where Rome was, and Eastern Empire is where Byzantium was. The reason why they split is because Rome was disintegrating politically and administratively, so they decided to set up another stronghold in Byzantium, or nowadays Istanbul, or in those days Constantinople. And so this is the context that Bulgarians, when they come over about 200-300 years later from the Caucasus Mountains, from there where they're forced by different tribes to leave, this is the context that they run into. At that time, there's a huge dominant tribe called the Slavs. So the Slavs is one of the most dominant tribes in those areas of the world, and they stretch from all the way from Poland down to nowadays Bulgaria. So the Bulgarian guys come over from the Caucasus Mountains because they're forced to leave the country, and they unite with the Slavic tribes, and they say, hey, look, if we join forces, we can push the Byzantine Empire back and have our own country here. They actually succeed in doing that. And I'll show you where the Bulgarian borders are. Right over here, they established Bulgaria in the year 681. Consequently, the Bulgarian state grows larger and larger, so much so that Byzantium and Rome actually come to respect it, and they have their own choice in things in religion and culture and church and so forth. However, there's one other thing that's missing in that country, and that is the unifying force of one church. At that time, there's something going on in Europe called paganism, which means people in the one country had different gods. They worshiped different gods, and they did not understand the Bible, or at least did not understand it in the language it was preached in Rome and Byzantium. The language of the Bible was either Greek or Latin. And so the Tsar of the time, Boris, recognized that if he wanted to be not as isolated from his neighbors, which were at that time Christian, and be more culturally involved with those countries, they had to start converting into Christianity as well. And so he had a choice of whether he could convert into Catholic, which is Catholic Christianity, which was the religion that Rome was using, or Eastern Orthodox or Greek Orthodox, which is the religion that Constantinople was using. And so he invited a couple of teachers, Saint Cyril or Methodius, after whom the Cyrillic alphabet is actually named, after Saint Cyril. They based an alphabet, especially for the Slavic peoples, and to mirror their vocal cords because they were different from the other Germanic tribes, and they created an alphabet based on Greek. A lot of the symbols, if you see some of the symbols, like the symbol F, this is what it looks like, corresponds to the same symbol F here. They're almost the same, and they changed a few characters, so much so that we created, our own alphabet. And so currently, this is the landscape of the different languages that cover Europe. And this is a Slavic portion of the map, and it covers countries from Poland down to Bulgaria. And a lot of these countries do use the Cyrillic alphabet. And countries like Bulgaria, Serbia, Macedonia, Ukraine, Russia, Belarus, and so forth. So let's recap everything we've learned today. First of all, Cyrillic alphabet was introduced into Bulgaria to translate the Bible from Greek and Latin into Bulgarian. It was written by Saint Clement, who was a disciple of Saint Cyril and Methodius. And about 250 years later, it was introduced to Ukraine and Russia. It is currently used in the countries of Bulgaria, Russia, Ukraine, Serbia, Macedonia, Montenegro, Belarus, and a bunch of other countries. And so, I guess from now on, if people ask you, hey, what country, what language do you think they speak in Bulgaria, this might be a good reference for you guys to know how and when the Cyrillic alphabet came about. Thank you.